and welcome. This is Chloe from Cousin DIY. Today I'm going to show you how to make this holiday craft. It is a glass bowl that fits over a plant pot topped with a saucer that's been painted and decorated. It can be used as home decor, and on the inside we have wooden beads with holes in them and some cording so that children in your home or that visit over the holidays could make necklaces. Let's get started. First, you're going to need to purchase a terracotta plant pot and saucer that you'll be painting. You want it to be large enough to fit the base of your bubble bowl. We'll be gluing that on. Once you've found the combination, there's lots of different sizes out there. Then you're going to need to paint your plant pot and your saucer. Now I used acrylic paint. I primed it with white first, and I went ahead and did it because it took several coats. I did the white as the base and then several coats of red. And then I sprayed some gloss on it just to brighten it up a little bit. The other alternative would be to buy spray paint, gloss red, for example, and you could just spray paint this, and that would probably go faster. But I had this on hand, so this is what I used. So once you've got this painted, you want to paint all around the sides and just around the rim of the plant pot. And you want to paint the entire saucer. You let that dry. Once you're happy with that, the next step is to paint. I took white paint and I painted, as you can see here, just a few little snowflake bases that I'm embellished with crystals. So let's do that first. Put a little white paint, and I'm using a tiny little paintbrush, a very fine point. So I have the first one, and then I'm going to do another one to the left and right of that one. There we go. I'm going to allow that to dry for a few minutes, and we'll be right back. Now that the paint is dry, I'm going to start gluing on sequins and crystal flatbacks. And we're going to use our little Swarovski glue pen. And I'm just going to place little dots of glue every place that I'm going to glue on. Okay, and I'm using this little katana. You can to lift up my sequins and flatback crystals. You could also use a wax tip crystal applicator or tweezers if you don't happen to have anything like this on hand. But this really makes it so much easier to work with the crystals. It kind of grabs them and allows you to lift them and place them very nicely. Next, I'm going to add some sequins. So I'm just going to place dots of glue wherever I want my sequins. Okay. Now that I have that done, I'm going to move on to my saucer. So I'm going to place it right on the top. I think I'm going to do alternate crystals and sequins around the edges. Around this edge anyway. And a good way to do this, I found, to make it even, is to just like go back and forth from side to side, so you're kind of lined up. So I'm going to start with these 4 spots. I also forgot to mention that you are going to paint one of the beads. This is a large bead, but it's got the smaller hole in it from the bead mix that we used. And I painted it red, and I'm going to use this E6000. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on in the middle of the saucer, which is going to be our lid. So glue that on. Next, we're going to glue this little Swarovski crystal right into that hole. So we'll put a little spot of glue in there. Place our crystal in. Make sure it's lined up properly. And then we will embellish the rest of the top of the lid. Okay, so now we're going to let that dry, and we'll be back. Okay, now that everything's dry, it's time to glue the glass bowl, our bubble bowl, on top or on the bottom of the plant pot. I'm using E6000 glue for this, and I'm going to place the glue right around the rim at the bottom. And then I'm going to use this little, if the glue starts to drip too much, I'm using this little head pin just to manipulate it back so it doesn't drip. Yeah, I suppose you could also use a glue gun for this. And then we're going to place our glass bowl. I find it's helpful to look down right in the middle. And we're going to let that dry. Now that our glue is dry, we're ready to fill our bowl with beads. Now there's different colored beads in these mixes. For the first one I took the pink beads out. You don't have to. I just didn't know how Christmassy I felt they looked. So we'll start pouring our beads. I'm using 2 packages. And the last thing to do is to cut some cord. You could toss many. I'm going to cut about a yard, and you could do as many of these. This is red satin cord. You could put several in the jar if you're going to have more than one child over, or you have a child that wants to make more than one. And I'm going to do about a yard for each one. And so I think I'll do I'll put 3 in here. And we put the lid on. Oh, I almost forgot the ribbon. Very last, take a length of ribbon. We're going to put it around the bottom of the base of the bowl and tie a nice little bow. And then we're going to trim the tails. There you have it. Kind of looks like a gumball machine. If you make your own, please share it with us on Instagram at #CreateWithCousin. Thanks for joining us today. Happy holidays. Bye, everyone.